Hello, everybody. Phenomenal Sir back with another episode of The First 15, the series where I play the first 15 minutes of new or underexposed indie games and then share my thoughts and feelings about them. Today, we have up Director's Mansion. The game is a Stanley's Parable-inspired comedy horror game. It's a narrative experience which is best taken slowly to bring out its full immersion. It's a narrative game where you can choose your own adventure. There's comedy, mild horror, achievements recommended for players 12 and older. The objective of the game is to immerse yourself in the story as well as to explore your own path. There are multiple achievements to encounter, and you can essentially do whatever you want. WASD to move, left click to interact, right click to inspect, shift to sprint, spacebar to jump, R to rotate objects. And tab for a diary. We've got some credits here. There are some Edith Finch assets that were used. I've not played that, so I don't know what that means for me. Game was published 1 day ago and shows a status of released. So, that being said, 15 minutes is on the clock, and our time with Director's Mansion starts now. Starts now. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Steve. Steve is a friendly neighbor and a normal person in all accounts of the word. Usually, his neighbors come over to his house every Tuesday for a lovely dinner, but for some reason they never came. A week later, and still nothing. Then one night, Steve decided to check up on the neighbor's mansion that appeared to be abandoned. A night that Steve will never forget.
Never forget it. Never forgive, never forget. Oh, and we're... Oh, okay. Okay. The neighbor's mansion. So where's my house?
Steve decided that visiting the mansion was too much for his normal daily life. Steve had played too many horror games to know that this was the optimal bait for anyone to walk into.
Is that it? Oh.
Wait. Are you really that insensitive that you would give up on your friendly neighbors?
Yup. Let me go. How did I get here? How do I leave? I wanna Way of the Samurai this thing. I wanna just walk home. Oh. So I can fuck this shit, I'm out. Ain't gonna deal with this no more. Well, I got an achievement. Go me. Alright, so we got an interesting house. No flashlight and equipment. So I guess it's my opportunity to explore. I will say, now, and this is gonna... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that was like that before. Okay, never mind. I thought that was solid. The scale seems good. Do I have a shadow? Oh, I don't have a shadow. I'm already dead. So the scale actually seems good, which is one of those things that I do sometimes harp on with these games, is that like when you're dealing with these free indie games and you're using assets from other projects, sometimes things don't always match up. So you'll have some stuff that seems too big and some stuff that seems too small. This is interesting. So looking at it from the side, I can see there's some holes. That's just because the asset was probably, you know, crumbling deck or something. And the developer tried to do a good job of hiding it by having a black roof over top. You really got to, like, look to see that it's missing there. So good on you, developer. This is a weird-looking mansion, by the way. This looks like a warehouse with balconies. Anyway, here we go. Oh.
Steve, after being frightened, walked to the room on his left.
No, I didn't.
This was not the correct way to the exit, and Steve knew perfectly well the layout of the mansion. Perhaps he wanted to search for more clues. As he entered the lounge room, Steve eagerly took the next door on his left.
Did I? Barbara. This is a door. This is not a poster. It's a door with a design on it. Bless me.
As he entered
Woo!
the lounge room, Steve eagerly took the next door on his left.
So these are actually just doors that they put up on their walls as decoration. For some reason, I actually like
As
that.
he entered the lounge
So
room,
this is like a
Steve
door
eagerly
for
took
like a
the next door
backstage
on his
performer
left.
or something. That's or like for backstage stuff. That's cool.
Steve was so bad at following directions. Are you supposing he has been killed off already? Surely that weird creature or thing what? As he entered the lounge room, Steve eagerly took
Oh.
the next door on his left.
Okay. There is no any key in inventory. Alright, you fucker. Let's go. Secret passage. I can see the light. I don't want to go in there. Locked now. Okay. Interesting. This I hate. This is like this is
After
weird.
seeing that terrible creature or thing, Steve decided to try and escape this godforsaken place scared and shocked. Steve began looking for a way to get into the next room. With the door being locked, the owners always kept the key hidden on the bookshelf beside the television. But of course, Steve couldn't possibly have known this.
Couldn't possibly have known.
Time was of the essence, but Steve decided that clicking random objects and searching for clues was much more interesting than escaping the mansion. If only he knew the key was hidden on the bookshelf beside the television.
But I do know that. Oh. That appears to be a glitch. That appears to be a glitch. Okay, so there's no inventory screen, so what does my key open? So all of a sudden, none of the doors work, developer. I feel like that was an oversight. I think I broke your game. And if I did, don't feel bad. I break everything I touch. So... Oh! Okay.
As he entered the lounge room, Steve eagerly took the next door on his left.
I have definitely broken your game, developer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit to the main menu, and I will start a new game. One that I will hopefully not break.
This is the story of a man named Steve. Steve is a friendly neighbor and a normal person in all accounts of the word. Usually, his neighbors come over to his house every Tuesday for a lovely dinner.
I'm actually
but for
not
some reason
hating
they
this.
never came.
I am just...
A week later,
I want to
and
get
still nothing.
some
Then
stuff
one
done in
night,
there. Like, I don't want to
Steve
beat the game,
decided to check up
obviously.
on the neighbor's
But I want to get
mansion that
something
appeared to
done,
be
and I don't want to have to
abandoned,
sit
a
through
night
this
that Steve will
whole
never forget.
intro a second time. There we go. Okay. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. We going.
Steve, after being frightened, this was not the correct way to the exit.
Fuck you.
And Steve knew perfectly what the layout of the mansion. As he entered the lounge room, Steve used to took the next door on his left. Steve loved this room, the cozy fireplace, the paintings on the wall. A great place to relax, but unfortunately, Steve had to escape this godforsaken place. Steve walked through the sliding door
Oh, see,
towards
the thing I
kitchen.
was saying about scale, not so much anymore. I am eye level with that doorknob. I love that mid-century modern couch, though.
But Steve didn't care about the story. He would rather despise me and stay entered the kitchen. Steve knew exit into the backyard was the best course door towards the kitchen.
So, definitely...
Stepping outside, Steve's heart was racing, fully knowing that all he had to do was walk to the left side gate, and then at last, he would be free.
So,
Running towards the side gate, Steve heard the terrible screams of the entity inside the mansion, getting ever so closer to him on Steve. Run.
Big
You are
issue.
so close now.
Big issue here. I would say, is he going to actually come after me? Or is it just going to, like, teleport onto me and kill me after a certain amount of time? I would say the fact that the narrator can talk over himself actually really takes away, because in some strange way, even though it's kind of janky, the narration does add a certain level of charm to the game. And me hearing him talk over himself takes away from that. Like, at first I was like, oh god, it's one of those like,
At last,
it's one of those like
Steve
type
had
and
made it
say.
his short but last ever experience to be head of that mansion. He began walking back home. Steve began pondering whatever happened to his neighbors. Was the creature one of them? Did the creature consume them? As he got further away, he realized none of that mattered to him, for it was only happiness he truly cared about.
Okay, so the fact that you can't pause the speech, advance the speech, and that he will literally talk over himself if you go too quickly. There was a certain level of like inherent jankiness to the see and speak, the you know, the text to speech feel of the narration, but I liked it. Like, for some reason, I think it was because it was making me have these like flashbacks to Sebastian from Sebel Engineering, which I reviewed like a year ago. But something about it just I was cool with it. But the fact that he was literally like yelling over himself kind of took away from it. I want to see
This
what
is the
other
story of a man named
paths
Steve.
there are to get
Steve
through
is a
this.
friendly neighbor,
I was kind of
and a
hoping the
normal
game would be
person
a
in
little
all
bit
accounts of
longer.
the word.
We're only like
Usually,
11 minutes
his
in right
neighbors
now.
come over to his house every Tuesday
And
for
we've
a
essentially
lovely dinner,
finished the game
but for
twice.
some reason they never came.
But I don't want to
And a
beat
week
the whole
later,
thing, but I
and still
definitely want to
nothing,
try it
then
out.
One night, Steve decided to check up on the neighbor's mansion that appeared
I
to
do
be
see the
abandoned.
comedy, though.
And
I see
that
the
Steve
comedy
will
here,
never
the mild
forget.
horror. You did jump scare me, and you got me with a legitimate jump scare. Where I don't know if it was like a planned thing, but when that monster just showed up and I died, I definitely jumped a little bit. And I have waxed hateful in the past on how much I dislike
Steve,
jump
after
scares that
being
are like
frightened,
noise based,
What
and
was a
this
terrible
just
creature
being
thing? Steve decided to
a
try and
regular
escape this
thing,
godforsaken
like a
place,
regular
scared
just,
and
oh,
shocked.
surprise, you're
Steve
dead.
began looking for a way to get into the next room, with the door being locked.
I was
The
cool with it.
owners always kept the key hidden on the bookshelf beside the television. But of course, Steve couldn't possibly have known
Sorry, I
this.
feel like I'm not really completing my thoughts because I'm being distracted by the the narrator. I have to escape, but how? I don't know. You tell me. I've got a key. What does the key
This
actually
was not the correct way to
do?
the exit, and Steve knew perfectly
Am I supposed
well
to,
the
like-
layout of the mansion. Perhaps he wanted to search for more clues to the missing neighbors.
Am I supposed to like do? Oh, there we go. Is this actually just the Wikipedia entry for what a key is? I think it is. Okay, so now I've got the key. Does the key work? Okay. Am I just gonna like die if I go up here again? It actually got me again too. Well, I guess that explains why it's empty up here. I was gonna say maybe one of the people that lives here teaches ballet or
This
something.
was not the correct way to the exit. After and Steve knew perfectly well the layout of the mansion to the room perhaps he wanted to search for more clues to the missing neighbors.
Which would make sense with the performer thing. Like maybe they were like a dancer or some sort of like physical performer. And that was just like their studio or whatever. So I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Steve loved this room, the cozy fireplace, the paintings on the wall.
I have seen that
Great
painting
place
before.
To relax, but unfortunately, Steve had to escape this godforsaken place. Steve walked through the sliding door towards the kitchen.
No, I didn't. Aww. This one room seems to have like really weird dimensions compared to everything else. Like, it feels like this room is not done.
But Steve didn't care about the story. He would rather despise me and stay within this
I
room.
have a
he
jump
loathed.
button, but I don't
If
know
only he would just take the
why I
sliding
need
door
to be able to
towards the
jump.
kitchen.
Can I jump up there? Okay, whatever.
Steve would rather die than listen to Steve knew the creature by now was the best course of action. Please, Steve, just enter the kitchen. If not for yourself, you would for me?
Okay. Why do I need a key?
Stepping outside, Steve's heart was racing.
Why do I have a
fully
key?
knowing that all he had to do was walk to the left side gate, and then at last he would be free. Steve had made it towards the last gate.
Can I go back in?
To be headed at the eternal screams of walking backside the mansion. Steve getting ever close. Whatever happened to his neighbors? Was the creature so close now? Did the creature consume them? As he got further away, he realized none of that mattered to him, for it was only happiness he truly cared about.
Okay. So, and as if by magic, that's 15 minutes. Okay, so Director's Mansion. A free indie game project, and not one which you are asked or given the option to pay money for. So, the assets obviously didn't go together, but I think you did a good job of using them, developer. I don't know what was going on with that one room. Like, for some reason, even though it felt like all the assets were, like, pulled from the same game, that one room, it felt like the scale was off for some reason, which was something I specifically talked about at the beginning. I was like, oh, the scale is actually good. Like, that's so rare. And then I walked, like, 3 rooms in, and all of a sudden it was like a fun house for a second. The doors were, like, way too big in that one room, and I don't know why. I already talked about the narrator. I didn't hate the narrator. At first, I was like, oh, God, here we go. But I actually didn't hate him. I liked the sarcastic, like, the snarky comments and things. As far as him talking over, you could just freeze the player in place while the narrator is talking. Now, I could see how that would get annoying after a while, but it's not a long game. I'm honestly disappointed because the game is presented as a narrative game where you choose your own adventure, and as near as I can tell, the choices you can make are escape the house or die. And I was really hoping for more diverse options, and I was hoping for something actually to do with the story, right? I mean, like, the story plant, the reason we're here is our neighbors have vanished. So we go to check on our neighbors. It looked like a Wendigo. There's a Wendigo in the house. It doesn't appear that anything went wrong. Like, there's no furniture knocked over. There's no bloodstains anywhere. Like, it looks like they left the TV on and went to the beach for vacation, and a Wendigo moved in while they were gone. So really, my biggest thing was I was disappointed because I was expecting there to be more story to it. I mean, it's a narrative game, and there's no narrative. It's just, you walked in, you did this, you did this, you did. So it's not really so much a narrative as the game is telling me what to do next, which there's a distinction to be made there between, you know, a story-driven narrative and instructions being barked at me. Sound was okay as far as it existed. Like I said, for the most part, the use of assets was good. For some reason, whenever that monster killed me, it would jump me because there was literally no sound. There was no, like, lead up to it. It was just like, you're dead. I don't hate that. That's okay. That's life, man. Sometimes you just walk into the street and you're dead, and that's just how it is. So I don't hate that. Um, I would really like to see you expand this more and have some more little like actual narrative stuff, and maybe have some alternate endings. Like when the narrator started being like, "Holy crap, you're really gonna leave?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm really gonna leave." Is that not an option? Like I thought I was gonna get a special ending. Um, so I don't think you've done anything wrong. I just think you should do more, developer. I think you should do more with this. If you could stretch this game out, add some extra narrative elements, add a little more detail, some more rooms, which you could do. You could flesh out the second story. You could have a basement, have some story elements to it. And I think that if this game was at the 30-minute mark, I think people would give you some money for it. I'm not saying they give you a lot of money for it, but there's people that have paid $2 for a worse game than this. So for me, I would say overall, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. And the reason I'm going to give it 4 stars is because what you have in it is not bad. I did break it now. I did break it by dying in that weird way and then reloading. So check on that. But I'm going to give it 4 stars because what you did have was good. It was just I wanted more. And me wanting more is not a negative. Me wanting more means you did something well. So I would say game with potential, 4 stars. I have actually talked for almost as long about how I wish I could play the game more as I spent actually playing the game. So, um, thank you everybody as always for watching. If you want to try this game out for yourself, if you want to see what other games the developer might have, let me see. I'm going to be sure to rate you right now. Boom, 4 stars. And I'm going to put this in my games with potential collection. You are in good company there. The Flip, the F1 IP. One other game, Binary Warfare. It seems like it's more of like binary, like geometry wars and computer stuff, as opposed to like some weird gender assumption thing. So Binary Warfare. You can check that out. You can check this out. You can show them your support. Link to the game is going to be in the description down below. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Stay healthy. Stay safe out there, y'all. Later.